Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/culturalstew. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Please listen carefully.
Welcome to the Cultural Stew Podcast, coming to you from the Goat Factory Media Entertainment Studios. We are your cultural media recommendation podcast, giving you our take on what we think is worth carving your time out for, and also what we think you can pass on and maybe go cut that lawn instead. Warning, we use adult language, and there may be spoilers ahead. Hello and welcome to episode 29, our Oscar episode special for the week of February 17th, 2019. We are recording a little early because one of us will not be here for Oscar weekend.
That's me.
I am Ron Harkins Jr. I am here with
Tony Carter.
And Valerie Roma, the one who's not going to be here.
Welcome to our short Oscar show. We're going to go through and give you some of our picks and thoughts throughout the year in movies and go from there. Before we hit that, let's talk about a little bit of news, Oscar news this week. It was kind of interesting that came up.
About what was out and then was back in?
Yeah.
Well, I think we had an issue where the Academy wanted to save time, so they decided to cut screening time or TV time for certain categories and put them during commercial breaks. And there's a big uproar about that.
Yeah, so basically, like right after we ran our last episode, it was announced that they were not going to show Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Makeup, and Costume Design. They were actually going to only present those during the commercial breaks and not show them during the actual run of the show to keep the thing shorter. What was interesting was the uproar. The main thing is like you take out cinematography and you take out film editing. Those are two very big keys of what makes a movie.
A movie.
Like you could leave out makeup and costume design because that is something that transcends into other genres. But when you leave out film editing and cinematography, I just think back to like last year, like we wouldn't have been able to see like Roger Deakins finally win and get his due.
Yeah.
But after the week of like some of the top industry professionals kind of hammering the Academy pretty hard, it was announced yesterday.
Yeah.
That they are going to put everything in their full.
I'm thrilled. I mean, these people work hard, and I always look at the cinematography, and they deserve their due. I mean, I do.
Well, here's the thing I don't get is that the Academy told members to actually send in, because members were allowed to send in ideas of who they should, cut. They put a memo out, and then they actually said, okay, well, now the departments, please send us, if you're willing to actually be cut, if you want to be cut, then let us know. Send us a card and let us know. So these branches let them know they're okay with being cut. And the president of the Academy actually is in the cinematography branch. So it was just kind of weird to me. And then they made the cuts, and they're the wrong cuts. Cinematography and editing should have not even been considered. And yeah, Del Toro made a big statement on Twitter about it. I forget what he said, but kind of like what you said, Ron. He said that these are the backbone of cinema, so why would you cut them? And here we are now, with everything back in.
I heard some interesting things this week of like better ideas of like how to make the show short. And one of the best ones I heard was actually one that makes sense. It's like start sticking like the people that are the these lower categories, these ones that you don't think that most people care about. You sit them way in the back of the theater. How about you move them up to the front of the theater? Because from the time that their name is announced to the time that they have to finish their speech, they have 90 seconds.
Right.
And so you're rushing these people, and then the people who get the really, really long speeches and take forever are the ones that are sitting close, and just interesting things that it'll be interesting also this year because we don't really have an Oscar host. We have Oscar presenters that are just
going to
just walk out, present it. So
do we know who the first presenters will be? That will be.
They have a whole list of them.
I just hope that it just helps move things along because you're not relying on just having one person there. So hopefully just people come in and out and do their thing and
save time.
All right. let's roll into this.
Okay, cool. I am just going to throw it out there that I have not seen some of these movies. So I am going with what I've read and kind of things that I've seen. I looked up things on YouTube and tried to see as many things I could, but I reserve the right to come back on to the site and change my answer until the actual show comes on. So I hate making decisions on things that I have not seen because it's just not fair. So whatever. I'm putting best cinematography.
I like going with my gut, whether I've seen it or not.
I can't do that. I am going to say.
It looks like we're all solid on cinematography here.
Well, I did what I saw was gorgeous, so I'm going to say Roma. Or Roma.
Yeah.
However you
Alfonso Cuarón.
Cuarón? Yeah.
Cuarón.
He was the director. He also did. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I agree with that one.
The one that just won the ACSC award was Cold War.
Okay.
So that'll be an interesting one to watch. One of the big things I noticed from this year from the Oscars list is it's a big push in the international, and I think it's a reflective of like what happened with the Academy actually getting a little bit of a changeover.
Right.
There's more international people making the nominations now, and Roma and Cold War are two of those fine examples of like international kind of being pushed and recognized.
Okay. All right, let's move on to best score.
Best score to me, hands down for me, this was Black Panther. It was Ludwig Jorgensen. I can't say his name, but he's also the same. He has been Ryan Conger's score composer on several ones, including like Creed and Creed 2. He's got the big drum sound to his music, and I think of what was out there, that would probably be the best. And I'd closely follow it, but this goes into the snub category because they actually didn't get nominated. Would be First Man,
Yes.
which is by not Damon Chazelle.
Carter Burwell, or let me just.
No, he worked with him on Musicland. He won the
Right.
score for.
That is what I was looking for, and I couldn't believe it wasn't on there. So
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
It was. I looked at it for about 5 minutes and was like, something's missing
where
on
is
here.
It? I thought it was a mistake, but no. So that's a snub for later.
And of the ones that are on there, where is the best score list?
So
Black
you want to
Panther.
name
I
them?
wouldn't be surprised if Beale Street wins. I think that's the one that's been getting the.
So best original score we have for Black Panther, BlackKklansman, If Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, Mary Poppins Returns. You know what? I do remember, even though it's maybe not the best, but I do remember the Isle of Dogs music playing a part of the show.
Yeah, it was quirky, but it wasn't memorable to me. It was memorable just because it's Wes Anderson's
Wes Anderson, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know,
style of films.
but I remember it. I don't know. Anyway, it's probably not going to win. I'm just saying. I actually had a question mark here because I don't know yet. So
I was abstaining from that decision, so
you're abstaining. Okay.
I am.
And I think I'll blanket this. I said this in our last episode. I think this was a very weak year in Oscars for me, in terms of like how much I'm fighting for like certain things. Like it was very easy for me to fight for Dunkirk because of how phenomenal it was on many technical levels.
Mm-hmm.
This year I just don't have. There wasn't. I thought First Man might have risen to that level because it kind of like checked off a lot of those boxes, but nothing was exceptional. It was all really good, but nothing was like, wow, this is the top of the craft.
I know, which is disappointing because I feel like if they just would have, I don't know, they needed something more, but.
And it shows in like the best picture, like, you got 8 They had the opportunity to nominate 10, and they nominated 8.
I know.
And then last year it was like, we have to only pick 10. And there was like, what, 2 or 3 other ones that we picked out last year that could have easily been in there and swapped out.
Anyway, so we are going to move on. There we go. To Best Adapted Screenplay.
I am going to do BlackKklansman on that one.
Agreed.
And a little factoid. I kind of threw out the University of Kansas, but that's all I heard. And so, graciously, Tony, who is faster with his fingers on the keyboard, Kevin Wilmontt from the University of Kansas co-wrote the film, and he is in the Film and Media Studies at University of Kansas, KU, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. That's where I'm from. So kudos. And Ron?
I'm going with BlackKKKlansman as well.
Will you stop?
That's how it's pronounced.
It is.
It's got that extra K in there.
For a reason.
It does. I forgot my K here. There it does.
I thought it was a fantastic, well-made film all around.
Yeah, it looks great.
And I thought it was smartly written, especially the stuff like when John David Washington's in the bullpen and taking the phone calls, like the wittiness that he threw in there. And yeah.
Solid screenplay. So.
All right, cool. This one is Best Original Screenplay.
I'm going to tackle this one first again. I went with Greenbook because after reading First Reformed and then watching it, it's a good meditative piece, but I don't think it screams at me saying I need to have an Oscar for Best Screenplay.
Does it seem like it's it should have been written and turned in to like a school as a paper?
I wish it had been.
Do you know what I mean?
A play. Yeah, I read it more when I actually seeing it.
I can see it as a play. Totally.
Like Doubt was a play first, and it became a movie. I can see First Reformed being a stage play and then being adapted to.
Okay.
Because there's not many locations they're using, and most of it can be contained in one space. And
okay.
So Greenbook for me.
So my pick was based basically not off of me actually seeing it, but more so off of if Greenbook doesn't win Best Picture, it's getting Best Screenplay.
Right.
More of a consolation prize. It's one of those, it's kind of like the Best Director. You don't win Best Picture, but you win Best Director. Greenbook is actually not on the nomination list for Best Director, I don't think.
I can look that up right now. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's not on the Best Director list.
No.
Peter Farrelly.
No, he's not. That's a snub.
So
that's for later.
That's another big snub. You have a Best Picture that's not on there for Best Director. So the next thing down for me would be Best Screenplay on there. And
I have not seen Greenbook, so I went with First Reformed. I did see The Favorite, and I thought, oh, it's kind of interesting. But then looking back, it was really funny when I got done. I stood up, and the people behind me were a lot older than I was, and they said they hated it. They hated The Favorite.
Were they quite conservative and
they looked it?
Yeah. Okay.
And I said, but they said, but have you seen Greenbook? I said, not yet. You need to go see that. That's a great film. So last night I wanted to see Greenbook, and
you didn't ask them why they didn't like?
No, the last scene. If anybody sees that, the last scene will just tell you everything you need to know. And the last scene,
I totally would have asked them. I said, so
why?
What is it? Why didn't you like it?
I'm just saying, if you're really conservative,
rip off the Band-Aid and let them.
That's your job.
If you're really conservative, and I just don't think you will enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. I don't think you should go. You're going to waste your money. I really do. Because it's not like it's going to open your eyes to something that's a beautiful thing. It wasn't used as a beautiful thing. And the last scene is so wickedly bizarre and strange. And it was totally, be careful what you wish for, people. You just might get it. So moving on 2. Original song. It looks like we have a... it's unanimous.
It's unanimous. I think it's unanimous in the way we were unanimous last year and lost.
I mean, what else do we have here? Let's go through this list here. We have...
It seems like the one that should win. However, weirder things have happened. You know, it was... What was last year was... what was the big one?
Oh, yes, it was the Coco one.
Yeah, Coco ended up winning over Greatest Showman.
Which I just could not believe. Anyway.
So if I was to pick one from here that would kind of like knock out Shallow, it would probably be the RBG, All Fight.
Okay.
Diane Warren's.
But
we all have Shallow right now, and
it's hard to overcome Shallow. But that I had the same exact feeling for what I heard from Greatest Showman on that.
It's going to be a little
catchy. It was monitored. I don't know. I can't say the right word.
It's going to be strange because Bradley Cooper. We're on
first name basis now?
Well, not him. Jackson and I are. But Bradley Cooper's going to come out, not as Jackson. Well, neither one of them are going to come out as their characters and sing this song, which is so strange.
What? Say it again.
So Bradley Cooper and Lady Cooper.
They're just going to sing it as Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, not as the actors.
They should, though.
I know.
But the way they sing it,
it's just
the movie is different than what they'll be singing.
It's not right.
So now you're Tony Awards. Okay, I got it now.
Okay, so they're going to come out and sing. I guess it was a big deal that Bradley's going to sing it. I don't know why. Who else would sing it? So that's going to be fun, even though I don't know.
Because they think that was just going to be her.
That was silly. Why? She even brought him up on stage in a concert and did it, so they can do it. Moving on. Best Animated. Now, I have seen these. Well, that's wrong. I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph.
I've seen all of them except for Mirai.
Oh, I haven't seen that one either. Okay, so I am going to say Spider-Man. I loved it. I loved all. It was beautiful, and I loved all the different, to me, because I'm not used to that type of animation. So to me, it looked like there were different types of animation going on.
It was a very much layered animation. I thought it was well. I thought it was a solid story as well in terms of what it was telling. That's definitely my pick as well. And I do have feelings in the back of my head for Isle of Dogs because I love stop motion animation a lot. I grew up with Wallace and Gromit, and it's fantastic. It takes forever.
Yeah.
But you know what? So does 3D animation.
Right.
You know, it's so easily bypassed because, like, oh, they're just doing it on a computer. It's like, well, they're still doing it frame by frame.
Yeah, but if you go see it.
So, yeah, I
gorgeous.
A hands down for me is Spider-Man Into the Universe with
I think it's still in the theater. If you can still see it in the theater, go.
Yeah.
It's definitely one you should see. And so you're Spider-Man as well, and then Tony.
I grew up watching Wes stuff, so I'm kind of partial to that. And same thing with stop motion too. Watching Gumby as a kid, and I know the process involved in making that kind of. I guess I'm rewarding Wes for my loyalty to him, and also as well as the process of stop animation, knowing how grueling that is, and he's getting better at it each time he goes. There was Fantastic Mr. Fox was his first go, and now he's making another one. So he's trying to
see. This is where I stand on like Isle of Dogs, like Spider-Man, great animation. Very good story.
Right.
Isle of Dogs, great animation, boring story.
The story was kind of up and down for me. I agree.
I go back to our episode when we did Isle of Dogs, and like it was hard to stay awake. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was not much pulling my interest in there except for, wow, that's really good animation. It's really engaging, but the story was just blah. But I felt the same way about Fantastic Mr. Fox. I just didn't get
that one. Did put me to sleep. So I will say
some people love that movie.
I just want Incredibles not to win. I want Pixar to have a year where they don't win.
I don't think Incredibles 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet they didn't rise to the level on either one for me. They're still great Pixar movies, but
They're just Pixar movies to me. I don't know. They didn't seem to jump out at me.
And they're both sequels.
Jump out.
MRI's good. So.
Okay, so supporting actor, we are all also in unanimous agreement. Mahershala Ali for Greenbook. So, yeah, I again have not seen it. However, looking at the other people, and
I'm not quite sure what would take him from being
supporting to lead.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it seems more like a co-lead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I didn't understand, why he wasn't in the same category as Vigo. Like,
but
why?
I think that's at the discretion of the movie studio, right?
Right.
As to what they submit him into?
Yes.
So they probably thought he has a better chance of winning the supporting category.
Although I just want to say that I am so happy Sam Elliott was nominated, and oh my gosh, if he won it, I'd probably scream my head off. He's not going to, and it's okay. But I loved seeing his name on there because that man can act.
Speaking of Sam, the man who killed Hitler and then killed Bigfoot is rentable on iTunes now. So I have that sitting there waiting for me. I'm like, this is going to be weird.
That's funny.
But,
okay.
Yeah, definitely Ali.
Yeah. And then we have, again, gosh, sure kind of boring here, people.
No, it's good.
Supporting actress, again. I went with what I saw on what I read, etc. So I am gonna say that I could change my mind, but right now it is going to Regina King, who in past movies that I've seen, she's phenomenal. She's a great actress, so I have no doubt that she's fantastic in this movie as well.
Yeah,
I did see. I'm so sorry.
No,
I did see Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz in The Favorite. They're awful. They're awful. I meant they're also nominated.
I think they're going to cancel each other out.
They will, and I don't know. And Amy Adams, I don't know. I didn't see Vice, but you did.
Amy Adams is going to be one of those actresses that goes years and just keeps getting nominated and just never wins.
She won. Didn't she win for Junebug? She was just nominated. Okay, I love Junebug.
I think she's got to have like 4 or 5 nominations under her belt now.
Junebug is fantastic. And then I guess a lot of people thought that the Marina de Tavira, am I saying that right?
She just came out of nowhere.
She's from, are we saying Roma or Roma?
You just said them the same way.
Yeah, you did, actually. You did.
Roma or Roma? Anyway, if I were looking at it, I would say Roma. But yeah, she came out of nowhere, and I don't know. But Regina King has always been, yeah.
I just think
really
everything
like her.
I've seen from all the clips from her for that, just, I mean, there's just,
yeah.
I've seen the other 3, and what she's bringing out is just a whole lot more.
Okay.
And she's heartbreaking.
What are we talking about?
Regina King.
Thank you. I thought
Sorry.
we were.
Yeah.
You just kind of go, ooh.
No, Amy Adams is heartbreaking.
Yes.
Yeah. You see her enchanted. Okay, so
Martha.
Actor. I don't know what we're saying.
Take a drink.
Oh, geez. Okay, so actor. I don't know. Tony is like having to move to the side to laugh so hard. I didn't even get the joke, but I rarely do.
Amy Adams. Come on.
That's the lamest part of the whole film. I'm sorry. Okay.
Martha.
She's Lois Lane.
Oh.
I just can't.
It's the Martha joke that brings them together during Batman versus Superman.
The worst part of the whole film.
Jeez.
And there's so many
Sorry,
moments.
don't remember that, but okay.
You don't want to.
Okay, actor. Hey, look, we have a disagreement. That's fantastic. I'm going to go first. I'm going to say.
How about Tony takes this one first?
Okay, Tony, go first.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm taking over the show.
All right.
Tony,
we're
go.
doing Best Supporting Actor. So we have. Sam.
No.
Yes.
Best supporting actor.
We're on actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already done supporting actor.
Yeah, we're doing actor.
That's why I asked where we were earlier. So we are at actor. Sorry.
So Yeah.
Martha Job. Okay. We had Bradley
That
Cooper.
really threw him for a loop.
It's the funniest part of the whole film. It amuses me on many levels. We had Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born. Rami Malek for, Freddie Mercury, William Dafoe, Christian Bale, and Viggo Mortensen. Honestly, I like William Dafoe in Eternity's Gate because I have a thing for, not a thing, it sounds weird. I have a very close...
Come on, you like guys that have their ears cut off.
I have a thing since Doctor Who's episode of The Doctor and Vincent. I have a thing, I like watching things about Vincent van Gogh. And William Dafoe played this guy very well. And even though he's much older than Vincent was when he died, he still did very, very well doing it. And William Dafoe does need another Oscar. I think he already has one. It would be nice if he had another one. But I honestly think it's between Rami and
Is it
Viggo.
Rami or Rami?
Rami.
I just want to know. I think people deserve to have their names pronounced correctly.
Absolutely.
Rami. So
Rami.
I've grown up for 38 years with nobody pronouncing my last name right, so I know how it feels.
painful? How do they pronounce it?
I say Herkins. Is that wrong?
No, that's right.
Okay, good.
How else would you pronounce it?
If you looked at it just on paper without seeing me or hearing my name, you'd pronounce it wrong. Trust me.
Herkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving along. So, Rami would be nice to win, but, they may give it to Viggo. But I'd rather Rami get it. So that's my vote is Rami for playing Freddy. And he's the favorite, I think.
But if Viggo wins, you'd be like, yay!
No.
No. Okay. No, William Dafoe.
I want William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
I'm going to throw my chips here again on Christian Bale. He didn't get it for the Golden Globes. Rami took it, but I still think Christian.
He did good. It's a good role. He did really well.
I have read some stuff about Christian Bale kind of swooping in and getting this one. But I'm going to put my chips on Rami. I'm going to do Rami because I felt I loved him in this. I just did. But I haven't seen the other ones, and I love Bradley Cooper. Loved you. I really did. But I loved your character. Like, I loved your character, but acting, it doesn't even compare to the other people. So. But
I like what Christian did in Vice. I do. I like his method acting style. I like what he did for the role, all the research and technically it'll be actually Rami, William, and then Christian. I can be happy with any of those three winning.
Timothy Lee.
Not so much.
Yeah, he got Timothy.
Who's him?
Didn't you just say Timothy?
No, I said these three. Sorry.
These three.
These three. Rami, William, and Christian.
Sorry.
I'll be happy with any of those three winning.
Okay. Fabulous.
That's my thing.
Does somebody else want to say something?
Martha.
You want to go to the next one? Go ahead. Ron, lead us in.
Moving on to Best Actress. To me, hands down, this is Olivia Colman. If she doesn't win it, it's a shame. I know people are pulling for Glenn Close as a makeup Oscar, but if Olivia Colman doesn't get this, she may never have a chance as a makeup Oscar.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I do. Not just because of how many films she's in that get nominated or recognized, and it's the opportunity for her. She's the international, coming from the BBC land, basically being put into the international. I'd love to see her in more films and more films of this quality, but I think there's no reason to me why she shouldn't win this.
I have seen both, so I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, who is up for Best Actress. Oh my gosh, of course, and they're going to give me this one. Yalitza Aparicio for Roma. And then we have Glenn Close for The Wife, Lady Gaga, A Star Is Born. Olivia Colman is the favorite. And then Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me? Now, I did see most of these except, I've seen 3 out of 5. So I saw The Wife, and when I saw The Wife, I thought, oh my gosh, Glenn Close. She's fantastic. She won it with her eyes. She's going to get, this is great. And I really felt that she should win. And then a couple of days ago, when I went to go see The Favorite, Olivia Colman knocked me out. She was fantastic. Her range of motion, her facial expression, like she uses all parts of her body. Like she took it. I mean, it'll be a shame if she doesn't win and Glenn Close wins because she's been winning everything. I love Glenn Close, but Olivia Colman deserves this. Tony?
I remember seeing Coleman all the way back in Confetti, which is a independent British film where it's a full documentary or mockumentary. So I do have her close to the chest and loyalty in that way, but I don't think it's her time yet. But like Ron said, they may just give it to her because she's not doing a lot of stuff. But I think Glenn may get it because she's her whole breadth of work. And
I know.
That's the way Academy does things.
Yep, the Academy does like to do it like that. I mean, so is Glenn going to win? Probably. But Olivia, just know that
she may get more work now because of this nomination. So, that always happens too.
Well,
sometimes.
I would hope to shout. She was in Broadchurch, correct?
She's also going to be in The Crown, so.
Yeah, she was in Broadchurch, and it's on Netflix, and
good show.
Gosh, that is a great show. And by the way, for anybody who, like my mom doesn't like it when they don't wrap it up at the end, they're all individually wrapped up at the end, even though we have kind of like a string of relationships. So, Broadchurch, check it out. Okay, moving on to director. Best director. I'll hand it off by me to tell you who they are. Spike Lee, BlackKklansman. Oh my goodness, people. Paul Pawlikowski for Cold War. I should not have done this one. Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, and Adam McKay for Vice. And if I said them incorrectly, just correct me. So go ahead, Ron. Go ahead. Best director.
Spike Lee for me. I think I've said it before. BlackKKlansman was one of the best films of the year, and I thought it was spot on. I thought it was a solid movie through and through. And he's due.
He is due. Way past due.
Well,
I think this is a grown-up Spike Lee, and it shows.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine this film being done like 20 years ago? Or like even 10 years ago with him? He would still be...
It was definitely more grounded.
Right.
I think he still said the things that he wanted to say or that he would have said then. They just weren't as in your face.
Right.
And I think a lot of that might have been like not setting something in current day and time. It was just setting it in, taking it into a historical event and like showing us something we haven't been before and just giving us a little bit of comedy with it. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. And your choice?
Spike Lee.
Okay. I'm going to go against the grain. And have you seen Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately. Okay. Well, of all of them, Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
He directed one of the best ones, which was Prisoner of Azkaban. Sorry.
Did he do Gravity?
Yeah,
he did Gravity, and he also did Children of Men.
Yeah.
He's done some fabulous stuff, and I think it's his time. So
I think he's already
won.
I don't care. It's his time again, people. So I'm going to go with him. Roma. But when I see BlackKklansman, I reserve the right to change my mind. But I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Okay, and
let me just take a sidestep. Sorry,
okay.
I'm going to
sidestep.
Coming from my director's hat here. The reason why I didn't pick Adam McKay is because I think Christian Bale directed it himself. Christian Bale's a way of taking over films he's in and just doing his own thing. And then people say he's directed Christian Bale, but Christian Bale wasn't directed. He knew what he was going to do. He had his own ideas, and did them. I think the only time he's ever kind of stepped back from that was when he was in Batman with Nolan, because he kind of respected Nolan. So they had that kind of tandem going on. Cold War was nice. The Favorite is decent, but he made backhammer choices. And okay with them. Alfonso, I think, is already won, so I think they're not going to do that again. And Spike Lee has waited a long time for it to be even nominated again.
It's true.
So I think they understand Spike's now kind of mellowed out. He's even attacked a couple people online on Twitter when they've said something was racist, and he said, "What are you talking about?" So
Spike Lee has put out some fantastic films and films that I studied in film school. I mean, 20 years ago, the guy was putting out some films that, things that I had never thought about before. I didn't. So yeah. I would agree. I mean, if he won it, it's not like I would be upset. I would say that it was well deserved.
Right. That's just my take on it. Sorry.
Okay. No, good. And?
Are we ready for the...
I could drum, but I was the drummer, but I don't have any beats in here. So
Best picture goes to Greenbook.
You think?
It should go to Greenbook.
Are you going to remember that from years from now? Is it going to be something that say, wow, that was memorable? And
Maybe. But I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody is best picture quality.
It's not. I think they're going to give it to... I hope not, but I think they will.
What movie are people going to remember from yours? What are you saying that you're going to remember?
Bohemian, Vice, BlackKklansman, I think are the top three people. I mean, Freddie Mercury, they're going to always have that in their heads constantly. Yeah. So it's just...
My daughter cannot get enough of that movie, except for, of course, the parts that I had to fast forward. She's just enamored with the whole... I mean, I realize that he's portraying someone, but she also likes to watch the real clips of stuff. But it's just interesting to watch a 9-year-old enamored with Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of interesting. The Favorite, I will probably, I'll probably forget until somebody brings something up about it. But even though I think her performance was great, A Star Is Born, I'm probably not going to forget that one. But it's not Best Picture.
Of everything that's on that list, the only thing that I'm going to watch again is Black Panther.
Right.
10 years from now, if you ask me what was on that list, I'll answer Black Panther.
The one movie I probably won't watch again is Black Panther.
Have you seen it? Did you watch the whole thing and not fall asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. Yes, I did.
I'm just asking.
And I will watch... this is what I should do is I should watch it in a year or watch it in 2 years because things change. You change. BlackKklansman... does it have any chance of getting it?
Does BlackKklansman?
Yeah.
I think it's a solid movie up and through, but compared to what else is on the list, I don't think it's going to get the eyes on it that it needs.
I just don't know. I mean,
my dad said something interesting the other day when we were on the phone talking about this. He said that they're not voting for the movie itself or Bryan Singer's. They're voting for Freddie's legacy. They all love Freddie, so they're voting for the man, not the movie. And that's what has been going on a lot with the voting, my dad thinks, is we're voting for the legacy, his image, not...
I have issues with Bohemian Rhapsody, but I just don't think it's... I don't think it's the best movie of the year.
I don't think... I enjoyed it. Do I think it's the best movie of the year? No. I don't know if I have a best movie of the year. Here's the problem. But I have not seen Green Book or Roma or Vice or BlackKklansman. So after that, I might tell you.
Roma's on there?
I think Green Book is one of those movies that you can look back on in a couple years and say that had two fantastic actor performances in it.
Right.
I hear it's feel good. They said it was feel good, these people.
Depends on what mood you're in.
Okay. So I think it's a toss-up. I don't know. I don't think Roma is going to get it because I think it's going to get in the foreign film.
It's going to win Best Foreign Picture, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it would be Best Foreign Picture, but you also have the
Bohemian
it's
Rhapsody.
Netflix attached to it.
Right.
So
Bohemian Rhapsody might get its, it's going to get sound editing. Best achievement in sound editing. It's going to get sound mixing.
It's going to be tough.
I think, or
that's going to be
or First Man.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay,
I
fine.
got those
later. Okay, so we do have that. Yeah, it's a kind of a toss-up. It's kind of a hard year for Best Picture.
It depends on what the mood of the Academy is in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Are they in a social movement year? If it's a social movement year, then a film like Green Book or BlackKklansman has a chance at winning. If they're in a, hey, let's just escapism, let's just enjoy nostalgia, then you're looking at Bohemian Rhapsody. If you're looking at political, you're looking at Vice. If you're looking at something that is a solid film through and through, but is foreign language, then yeah, you're looking at Roma. But I just don't think Roma is going to rise to the level of capturing it, and that's mainly because of the stigma of Netflix attached to it.
Although a lot of people are saying it's going to win.
Ooh.
I mean, a lot of sites. Ooh. So,
Roma will win in the same light that Artist would win, where it's just that nobody thinks it's going to win, and then all the other votes are canceling everything out. So the only thing left standing is. But
I think Bohemian will win, but I would like Green Book or Black Panther to win, even though Black Panther has its moments.
So BAFTA.
I think Black Panther won just by having its name in the nomination.
Right.
There.
BAFTA went
in a year where you could have picked 10, you only picked 8, and of those 8, you still gave one to Black Panther. Right. I think that's a win.
It is
for a superhero movie.
So
one day soon.
BAFTA went to Roma for Best Film, and it got
foreign
director, cinematography, and film not in English language. And then The Favorite took most of the wins, landing 7 of its 12, including leading actress, which was Olivia Colman, and she beat out Glenn Close, and
British.
Supporting actress Rachel Weisz. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so
it'll be interesting to see how that international influx affects everything this year. Because if there's a lot more international selections this year, then it's going to then the Oscars is going to more so reflect what's happening on the international stage.
The Cinema Audio Society. I don't know them. Anyone know them?
The what?
They handed out their awards last night. Bohemian Rhapsody took top prize in sound mixing and for film. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, there's like all these bizarre little things that this year Green Book and Roma are the original screenplay category, and they're going against The Favorite, which is esteemed rival at the Oscars. But The Favorite is not eligible at the Writers Guild, which I still haven't figured out why. So it's even more unpredictable because, because what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to say something. The Writers Guild has pretty much gone with the Oscars. The first 5 years, the last 5 years, they haven't. So it's kind of strange that they have kind of made a switch over. So we'll see what happens. Although they picked Moonlight. And yeah, they picked a lot of movies they also picked the artist. So I don't know. Anyway.
So some of the other side categories that I looked at, we don't have to talk about them in depth, but for editing, I chose Bohemian Rhapsody. For feature doc, I chose Free Solo. That was the one that stood out to me among the rest of those. For sound editing and mixing, I kind of have a toss-up between Black Panther or First Man, kind of leaning towards First Man. And yes, both of those over Bohemian Rhapsody. And then for visual effects, First Man, production design and costume, that's definitely leaning heavily towards The Favorite, and makeup as Vice.
I'm going to You guys can roll your eyes. That's fine. Best achievement in makeup and hairstyling. I don't understand why A Star Is Born is not on here, because there's no way that Bradley Cooper does not look like Jackson Maine. But he looks like a ragged, like his skin he looks like a drug addict. He looks also way over tanned because he's out in the sun all the time, and the guy's face is completely transformed.
Doesn't stand out to me.
Is that makeup or is that just...
That's makeup. Absolutely makeup. And then, so I thought that was kind of interesting that it wasn't on there.
Well, Vice has went all out. I mean, we have prosthetics for Sharon Rockwell talking about prosthetics. We have Christian Bale gaining weight. I mean, at one point, I forgot it was Christian Bale playing Dick Cheney. And you have Amy Adams playing his wife, too. So they kind of all disappear into their roles.
Yeah. Mary Queen of Scots did a great job, too. I did see that movie.
That's just my thing.
Any notes from...
Let's see here.
I agree with most of your decisions. I agree with. I don't think that Bohemian sound mixing. I mean, it's not like they're doing a live performance. I feel like they're just, what do you call that? You're not lip syncing. You're playing along.
What about best original screenplay?
We already did that.
We did that one.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
it'd be different if they were playing live, but they weren't. He was just lip syncing to.
No, I just didn't feel like Bohemian Rhapsody did anything special in the sound mixing and editing.
Yeah, they didn't.
First Man, the sequence where they're getting locked into the shuttle and being launched up, the details in the sound.
Yeah, all important.
For those
space camp.
For those living in Rochester or in maybe a bigger
metropolitan,
you could probably look around and find that they are showing the short films. They're showing them here. Best animated short films, best live action short films. They're showing them, all of them.
I think they're streaming online somewhere too.
Oh yeah,
I think I ran across a link with them streaming.
You could, they're doing it at Pittsford, and
because the short films usually end up on Vimeo or something like that.
Okay, I could look for that too.
It might have been iTunes. I ran across it the other day. I was like, oh, look, there they are.
And then,
and I just kept it was the one that was before. Was that one before Incredibles 2, I think?
I was going to give you a chance to vote on something. So the Writers Guild isn't until tonight.
Okay.
And the video game nominees are, this is for video game writing.
This is hard. It's going to be between God of War and Red Dead. And I'm probably leaning towards God of War because it's already been winning over Red Dead.
I don't see Red Dead on here. I see Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Batman within episodes. Wait, am I looking at the right thing here? I think so. God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, and Pillars of Eternity. Am I looking at the wrong things?
You said just those three?
No. I said so. Video game writing. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Is that a video game?
Yeah.
Okay. Batman, The Enemy Within.
I don't remember that one, but
sure. God of War.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to hands down go to God of War. I don't know how it can go to anything else this year.
Okay, Marvel's Spider-Man and Pillars of Eternity 2.
God of War was, as much as I loved Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War...
It wasn't even nominated.
Well.
I know you love it.
That's their feeling. It's a long-ass thing, and long-ass things don't typically get nominated. But it also depends on what they view of it. But yeah, God of War was a pretty original.
Cool. Well, I just want to get your...
I think it just picked up Game of the Year as well.
Oh.
So.
Cool. All righty. Do you want to break?
No,
or
we're not
do you
even
want
to
just
We're just going to finish off.
We're going to go straight into Snubs.
Snubs. Honorable mentions and snubs. Who wants to take a shot first?
Okay.
Well, I already said it last week. I'm gonna say it again. I think "Won't You Be My Neighbor" being snubbed for best documentary kind of hurts.
I have that down too.
Hurts just a little bit, just a little.
Yeah, I don't know what it would have replaced though.
I have my list of snubs. And here my list of snubs.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Now.
I mean, I've seen all but one of those, and all of them deserve to be on there.
Yeah. Just bump it in, make it 6.
Why?
Yeah. But still, just a little upset.
It is a little strange. Bradley Cooper wasn't nominated as director when we have all these.
Yeah, that was a weird one to me.
That was weird.
I thought he did a fantastic job as director, and I mean, not enough to win, but enough to at least garner a nomination. But
also, Ryan Coogler for Black Panther was not nominated for director either. Timothy Chalamet was not nominated, and actually, no one from Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan was nominated. Toni Collette from Hereditary, not nominated. Won't You Be My Neighbor for best director?
Doc.
For best doc. So, yeah, we just said that. 8th grade, the screenplay. And then editing. I thought The Star Is Born. The editing was fantastic.
Let me ask you
and the sound mixing in A Quiet Place was fantastic.
Well, yeah, that's another one.
And then Greenbook did not get Best Director, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So those were, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the ones I had Bradley again. John David Washington, why he didn't get an actor nom? That he was at a BlackKklansman. I thought he deserved a nom.
Nobody did. It's very strange.
Ethan Hawke should have got a nomination in there.
Absolutely.
Let's see, First Man. Again, it's not the best picture of the year, but when you're talking 10 slots in there, it should have been slotted in as a best picture along with Beale Street. They both should have been on the top 10
It's
list
weird
there.
because I had so many bad, I went in with like such low expectations of First Man, and I really liked it a lot.
Yeah. And then the other one that I had on there, I already said the First Man, not in the score. Buster Scruggs not getting a cinematography nod was kind of weird to me. But
who shot that?
That was the Coen brothers, so that was Deakins.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was the first thing I said about that film as I was watching it. I'm like, this is just gorgeous cinematography. But
yeah.
It's that Western cinematography, though. You need the right audience to enjoy it.
So do you have anything else?
I had a comment on that, but never mind.
That should have been...
I think, like Ron said at the beginning, it's just a very slow year. I call it slow, not rough, but just slow, where there's not a lot out there. There's some quality stuff, but not enough to say, wow, this year's going to be great. Like last year we had Ship of Water, which kind of stood out visually and just writing everything together. So this year I'm not really feeling... Even Black Panther, I like it. It didn't feel solid enough for me to say, wow, this is a complete package for Best Picture. So I'll be paying attention to see what the trend is this year. Spike winning will be phenomenal on many levels for me, but selfishly, I'm like, no, not yet. I want to win that. But we'll see what happens, and I don't know. I guess we don't know what the climate of the Academy is this year.
We don't know. I mean,
it almost feels like this year is a transitional year. What's it a transitional year to? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like some of the big name directors and people just aren't in it this year. And it's because their movies didn't come out this year.
Right.
Or like they were in it last year, but they're now making a movie this year that's coming out this year.
Right.
Kind of thing. So it's kind of like...
Well, Sundance is more international this year, too. I looked at Sundance and their films, and a lot of the winners this year were from overseas or different countries. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. I mean, they may be easily forgotten between now and next season, but there are more international directors and writers and stories.
I don't know where you would have put this movie, but Paddington 2 made me just smile. You can laugh. I don't care. Paddington 2 was a fun little movie. That was a fun little movie. I enjoyed it.
Can I ask you a question, Valerie? When you say best editing, what are you looking for in terms of editing when you say something blows you away editing-wise?
Like when you're talking about when I said
You keep saying this has good editing. What are you looking? Are you looking for seamless transitions where you don't know that you're popping between heads, or are we talking about just overall
things that make sense to me? I don't things that are in line. Well, I also like editing, but maybe I am editing where they use something from one scene, like a drip. Let's say
you're talking about transitions, especially
transitioning, and then I thought that the editing during the concerts were cool. They like moved through, and the way they did that seemed like you were there at the concerts. I thought that was really cool. And then editing also, they're putting the story together. They're kind of looking at this huge thing, and they're trying to put like which look and which angle and which part of all of these shots are going to bring out the emotion that we need, because they have all of these different angles that they're working with. Let's try from this angle. Let's try from this angle. Let's, and they all have different takes. They pick the takes and they're putting them together, the story that makes you feel.
Okay. See, for me, editing is always revolved around pace and how it plays out in the story. And you think of something like Dunkirk, where you basically, how they paced it to the music and the action that was going on in 3 different scores. And it's just, to me, it's how it drives the story. And it's not so much, hasn't always been about the cuts.
Can it be sound mixing?
No.
Or is that editing?
No, film editing. How they're taking the pace of those cuts in that story. So if you're telling separate timelines, how you're interposing those timelines in together to tell that story in a way that pays off at a certain point. Kind of think like a heartbeat. That's film editing to me is it's been so closely tied to just the directing. I mean, a film editor can make or break a movie.
Correct.
So quickly. And, that's why a lot of directors actually come up through that channel. They either come up through film editing or come through cinematography.
Mm-hmm. Film editing is hard. I took a film editing class.
Well, you were using a real film, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's just a process. I mean, I enjoyed doing it when I took that, so it just makes you think longer and harder about what you're doing before you do it. So,
and that's why I think that's a major why I wasn't enjoying Favorite, is because it felt so broken up. The pacing was just off to me.
I would agree.
It was like somebody dipping a paintbrush and just chucking it at the wall.
You probably didn't get there, but all at once you're watching the movie, and then all at once there's a scene thrown in that makes no sense whatsoever. And all I'm going to say, it has to do with men and fruit. And it was the most bizarre thing. And I thought, what in the hell is going on? I mean, like, why is this even in here? I could not figure it out. So they threw in some stuff that I was like, what? And they kept going back and forth. You're right. It was all over the place.
One of the ones I tried to use last year to try to teach Emma, my oldest daughter, a little bit about film editing is basically the last third of Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout, because the editing is pretty near flawless of the 3 different storylines that you have going on, and the pacing of how the music is, everything's just bringing in a slow build, and then all of a sudden it's just boom, 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 and then the payoff right at the end. You got to have the right editor.
Right.
I mean,
it's not about correct, right, or wrong. I was curious because you keep saying this has good editing, so now I know where your mind is when you're thinking about it. In my opinion, I like seamless editing, or editing that doesn't draw attention to itself. Like Dunkirk I felt seamless editing where it went from moment to moment, and besides color and differences and grade and day and night, I really didn't tell. It could have been all one film together. And
I see what you're saying.
It was together. Birdman, same thing. Even though it was, all in one take supposedly, but it wasn't. It was edited in a way where it made sense. Mm-hmm. So I like films that I know there's a cut, but I'm not seeing the cut. And when I edit my films and I edit people's things, I try to hide cuts and things in a clever way where you don't know that. It doesn't jump out at you.
But I think there's film editors that are really good at doing the quick cuts.
Right.
That know how to choreograph a fight and the cut perfectly.
Yes.
To the point where like you get drawn in so much as what's happening. It's just when I look at something like what was on there this year?
Oh, film editing.
It's on the wrong one. Like Bohemian Rhapsody had some good, cool transitions.
It did,
but
yeah, they did have some cool.
I don't know.
I just don't like when I'm drawn to the fact that the film has been edited. I mean, I understand these concert scenes were edited in a way where you're getting the best dynamic shot, but again, it's coming from my point of view and my style of filmmaking is that I shoot what I need and I know ahead of time what I want camera angle wise. I don't shoot extra angles because I know exactly what I want to edit in the edit room.
Look at scene. You're looking. You guys definitely focus on. I understand the seamlessness. I understand the grade. I understand that whole look, and I look at it differently. So
we'll talk about it in one of my. I'll have an episode where I discuss that in more detail. But it's just.
I like they have to.
My priority though is still it's the pacing. I mean, if you don't put those in the right spot, man, it can really just screw up big time.
Right.
I think the pacing.
I think the best part of Bohemian Rhapsody was that end Live Aid scene. That was like where everything kind of clicked in for it. Like when they came through with the piano and just started going into it.
I want to say that if I looked at the piano and I totally interrupted you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The water is moving.
Well, Grace was trying to notice you. So,
it moves. I was like, kept looking at the water. I'm like, it's moving. What's going on? And I'm sorry.
Jurassic Park.
Little ADHD right there. Interruption. So Ron,
any other stubs?
Not right now. I'll probably put more on the line when I see them and I hear them. But yeah, I'm just.
What's your best movie not on this list from the year?
Wow, man, that's a question I should have thought about before. But I don't have one at the moment. It'll probably pop in my head right when you say, oh, goodbye. But, sorry, I don't know.
I was expecting a foreign language film to pop out of your head.
Well, I can say not what to see. Don't see the upside. But other than that, I don't know. I don't have one right now, I think. I had one in my head, I think, a couple of days ago, and it's like gone away.
A movie that I really, really, really enjoyed and actually got like one of my highest reviews of myself this year was A Quiet Place. And to not see it anywhere on this list.
I think Jason was disappointed with that as well.
He was disappointed with the movie?
No, disappointed that it wasn't on there.
Oh. Yeah. So that's kind of where I am with that.
There's a lot of people that were upset that I haven't seen it, but that oh my gosh. Crazy Rich Asians? Is that what it is? Or just Rich Asians?
Crazy Rich Asians.
That wasn't on there. I haven't seen it. So, and then some people really liked Ready Player One, which I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I think visual effects wise, it was a really cool movie, but I think it needed more time baking in the oven. Okay, why is that not coming up? Sheets.google. So you saw The Favorite as your movie this week. I saw RBG.
I saw two movies.
I saw First Reformed.
Which
again.
I'm going to tell people right now. Now I can't think of the damn movie's name. That's the horror movie that's out right now.
Describe it more.
Happy Death Day to You.
No. No, hold on. Gosh, you guys, it's The Prodigy. Do not waste a single dime or second on that movie. Okay, I went out because Kendra and I like horror movies, and yeah, no, I just thought it was so bad. I thought that Fallout was really fun. And
Fallout is definitely one of the best action movies that has been out in the last decade or more.
And let me see if there's anything else here.
Sorry to Bother You is another one that I'm shocked that it didn't get any love for this year.
That was a little surprising, yeah. Especially since Sundance was in love with it so much.
It was just so different than anything else that came out.
Could that have been why it didn't get not? Is just so different? And
I just think it got small market and not a lot of people saw it.
Okay.
I think there's a movie that keeps popping up that I have not seen, and I don't know if anybody else in here has seen it, but it's called The Rider, the R-I-D-E-R.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's a Chinese writer director, and it's about a former rodeo star, Lane Scott. So I hear fantastic things about it. Is that not?
Is it Lane Scott? Isn't that the story at like 8 seconds?
Is it? I don't think so.
I hate these things that come up like this, and I can't. It's like we're going to spend like 5 minutes.
No, we don't have to worry about that. But I'm just saying that, yeah, I didn't see a ton of movies. There are movies that I hated. I was disappointed in, which is sad, but I was really, really disappointed in Ocean's 8. I thought it was just okay.
Frost.
Hotel Transylvania 3, did not like that. I was really disappointed there, too.
Happy Time Murderers was a disappointment.
I don't even need to talk about that one.
Years and years of waiting, and that ruined it.
And, but I think that's about it. I don't really have anything that I saw that I thought, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it's not on there. So, no. I mean, do you guys, didn't the Avengers Infinity War come out this year?
Yeah, it's on there for visual effects.
Right.
Okay, so it's on there at least. And Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anyone care?
Mm. They're good movies. I'll watch them again.
But you don't care.
But they're just not stuff that are going to draw Oscar love.
Then I don't think we have anything. I think we're good. I think you're right, though. The Quiet Place. Oh, I saw Leave No Trace, and I thought Leave No Trace should. I don't know. I kind of like that. Anyway.
All right, I'll put more stuff up online this week. I'm off from school this week, so I have more time to.
Me too.
Post things.
Not me.
I either will or I won't. But I think that is our show today.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tony, where can we find you?
I'm on Facebook, Anthony.Carter167. Instagram is AntCarter85. Twitter is SMTORCHIO. Find me. Contact me. Please.
I am just going to say Instagram's kind of a waste of time, really. So, well, just because I don't think anybody's going to care about the Instagram part, but at Vidmar, at VB Vidmar on Twitter, I'm going to start. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to be better at Twitter. And then Valerie Lorraine on Facebook, because I have now completely dedicated that to reviews and things like that. So, and of course, posting our podcast.
And you can find me anywhere pretty much as GF Media or GF Media CEO. You can find us at culturalstew.net or Cultural Stew on Facebook or at culturalstewnet on Twitter. Hop on over. Give us what your picks are. Let us know what we hit on the head, what we missed big time. What you would swap in, swap out. Give us some feedback. Enjoy the Oscars.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
The intro and break music is Please Listen Carefully by Jazir. Available through the Creative Commons license from Free Music Archive. Please see our show notes for details on what the outgoing song is and who it is by. And also, as always, if you have a piece of music that you'd like us to play or consider playing, please contact us today. Like what you've heard? Want to continue to hear more? Please consider Patreon. What is Patreon, you ask? Patreon is a content creator support site, a way for people to support the things they love and allow creators to continue creating the content that they love. Please consider heading over to patreon.com/gfmedia and becoming a Patreon supporter today.